Hey, good stuff, Sarah. Well, we're down here at the Umbrella Bar, and I know I'm going to catch up with Mike Solimano, but you got to date yourself, don't you?
I do. I'm going to head over to K1 and see if we can hook up with GRIZZLY for a little interview.
Yeah, sounds good. After you talk to him, why don't you come on back here? I'll meet you here and we can wrap it up.
Sounds like a plan. We'll catch you all later.
All right, see you in a few minutes. I'm headed inside of the Umbrella Bar.
So I'm here with GRIZZLY, head director of Mountain Ambassador and chairman of the Snowboard.
That's correct.
It's good to see you again.
And it's good to see you out here.
I know, you know, it's colder today. We're heading into the middle of March and the weather has just been outstanding. We've had a little warm up and now it's snowing, you know, it's getting colder. And I've heard a rumor on the hill that Killington is going to do something that they haven't done in 10 years.
That's right, and you're correct on this rumor. We are back to snowmaking. We're going to be making snow on the trails that are needed, and especially we'll continue our pilgrimage of making snow on Superstar, on the connector trails to get you over to Bear Mountain and get you back over here.
Well, that is very exciting news to hear, because I know there are a lot of diehards out here going into the end of the season who want the mountain to stay open as long as possible. And I've heard rumors of June 1st. You know, there's always the people who are like, July, we'll go into July.
Hey,
which is kind of crazy, but, you know, regardless of that, we're definitely having a lot of events coming up, you know, going through the end of March, headed into April. Can you tell me about some of those events?
Well, sure can. On the 17th, which is coming up soon, we're going to have a great event, which is basically it's going to be St. Patty's Day. So it's all about St. Patty's, a scavenger hunt. We're going to be out here. We're going to be setting a tent up in front of K1 Lodge and also down at Snowshed Lodge. That tent will be set up for registration, where people can come in, get signed up and ready to go. There'll be individuals as well as groups that are going to be out there on this scavenger hunt. That scavenger hunt will start probably around noontime and run till about 3 o'clock or until we find all the little logos. In other words, you may find shamrocks out there. There'll be other kind of clues that you'll find and you'll have to search for.
Well, wonderful.
Yes.
And now, so that's this weekend coming up.
Right.
And I know there's a lot more.
Yeah, there's a ton more. You know, we do have Easter Sunday sunrise service. That service is going to be held at Snowshed this year. That event is starting about 6 o'clock in the morning, which will run to 6 to 8.
Wonderful.
From 8 o'clock until probably 11, we're going to have an Easter egg hunt. We'll have a mini Easter egg hunt for the little toddlers out there in front of Snowshed and over at Ramshead.
Well, that'll be fun. I know Easter was always one of my favorite holidays for that reason as a child.
So the Easter egg hunt will be out here as well. Some of the eggs will be even on the mountain. After that, we're looking at you know what I skipped? I skipped SNOE.DOWN.
SNOE.DOWN! How could we forget SNOE.DOWN?
22nd to the 24th of March.
That's a
huge event. So that's coming up in March. And then in April, the 6th and 7th, we do have the MOGUL Challenge.
The return of the Bear Mountain MOGUL Challenge.
Yes, which is going to be a lot of fun. It'll be that, you know, we're bringing it back, so we're going to have a lot of people that are going to be very, very excited about the fact that we're redoing this again.
That's fantastic. And not to back you up again, but I think is it Easter weekend, we also have Pete Fitzpatrick Band coming along with John Popper from the Blues Travelers on that Friday. And then we're going to have on the 30th, Fuel coming to the Wobbly Barn.
Yes, so boy, wow, that's a lot of great music.
The music scene up here in Killington is just going to be off the hook and something you're not going to want to miss.
Right, exactly. And you know, again, we have April 20th. We're looking at pond skimming, which will be taking place right in front of, probably on Superstar.
Well, hopefully we'll have some warmer weather for that, because that could get cold.
The water will still be cold then, but it'll be a lot of fun. That's usually a great event, and it brings on our springtime, and we have a lot of barbecues going on weekends, and head on over to Bear and check that out as well.
That's fantastic. Now, for people who might not have a pass but want to come up for all these weekends for all these great events, I've heard that there's a Nor'Easter pass available. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Wow, that's fantastic. That is a great pass. If you haven't gotten a pass, now's the time to get a springtime pass. That's $199. It actually starts March 15th, which you can use it to the end of the season, and you get benefits with that as well.
What a deal. That's definitely something that I know I'd want to look into.
Yep, it's fantastic, and you'll get 20% off on lodging. So if you're out there and you need lodging, you can check with us and you get that lodging for 20% off.
You can't beat that. Well, thank you, Grizz. It was good to see you again. Great chatting, and stay tuned for more Explore Killington.
Hey, welcome back to Explore Killington, everyone. Well, I've got a golden opportunity here. I've caught up with Mike Solimano, the new president and general manager of Killington Resort. Mike, thanks for taking the time out of your busy day to spend a little time with us in the snow here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's great.
What do you think is the most understood aspect among the public of the ski resort business? I mean, it's for most of us, we come up here, we ski, the lift's running, the trail is groomed. That's all we see about it. Maybe they've made some snow, but it's very complex. What do you think is the least understood aspect of the ski business?
I'm not sure if it's the least understood, but the most complex, I think, from a business standpoint that is probably hard to explain is just the, you know, it's the cost of the capital improvements that are needed. The fact that it's such a capital intensive business, I think, is probably the biggest challenge, you know, and just the operating cost of the business. People wonder why it's so expensive to ski and all those things, but you know, this year we've made a lot of snow, and just maintaining the infrastructure and then just the power costs to put out that snow is, you know, it's expensive. We know now in a day when a lift, you know, costs $6 to $7 million for a high-speed detachable lift, you know, that's pretty hard to finance, you know, and so that's challenging with all the other infrastructures and the miles of snowmaking pipe and other things. So, you know, that's kind of why, you know, a lot of our plan is to maintain what we have in terms of lift infrastructure. But I think that's probably the biggest challenge is there's so many things everybody wants to see in a new thing, and just trying to keep track of all the, you know, the great things we have and maintain them is pretty important.
Yeah. Now, going back to the community here, you've actually received a lot of praise for your efforts in working with the community, the people, the businesses that are down the road here and beyond. And on your blog, you refer to it as One Killington. Mm-hmm. What community programs do you value the most? And do you have any other outreaches planned to the community as far as the resort's concerned? Yeah,
I mean, you know, kind of since I've taken over, you know, we've started this One Killington, trying to work on the service piece. That's been kind of the first pitch. You know, and a lot of it's just getting in a room with all the different people and all the different, you know, groups. And, you know, at times, as I mentioned before, I think sometimes it was an us versus them mm-hmm. type of situation in town. And, you know, and I think, you know, it's important for us, for the community to do well, and it's important for the community for us to do well. And I think we are really, you know, attached. So, you know, that was kind of the first thing, was focus on service. And then as we move forward, I think, you know, I don't claim to have all the answers. You know, it's sitting with all the different groups and going, hey, what can we do? You know, I mean, the next, you know, getting through a pretty good winter, and then, you know, get into summer, and the question's always, what can we do to improve summer? And you know, I think there's a bunch of things, but you know, it can't only be the resort working on a plan and then people in town waiting for that. You know, I think we need to work with them, and as a community and a whole region, there's some things I think we can do. So a lot of it's just some brainstorming I think we can do together.
Well, Mike, there's always been talk for a long time, as long as I've been around, of connecting Killington and Pico. Let's talk mm-hmm. about that for a second. Plans still on the table for that?
Yeah, I mean, you know, as I said, we've got a long capital list, and that's still on our plan. Mm-hmm. You know, as I said before, I think in some different meetings, that's not on my next couple big capital project plan. You know, there's some great things about that plan and then there's always some challenges with it. And I think every meeting I go to and I say, what, people ask that question and I turn it around and say, what do you think? Should we do it? And half the room thinks it's the greatest idea and half the room thinks it's the worst idea. Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of the people at Pico, I think, tend not to love the idea. They kind of like Pico separated, and, you know, that's such a great family resort. You know, there's some benefits to keeping that on its own. And, you know, one of the things to me that would be really interesting about it is a little less the interconnect, but as much the possibility for some really nice blue type terrain skiing. You know, at Killington, one of the challenges, we have some great greens. We have a ton of black and double black, and we have some great blues, but, you know, that's the sweet spot in the market. You mm-hmm. can never have enough of that. And, you know, a lot of that weekend day business, you know, really wants that blue terrain. So I see a lot of opportunity if we could do some of that to get some more terrain as well. That I think would be pretty nice.
One final question. When President Obama needs to move about the country, he's able to hop on Air Force One. Do you have like a Snowcat one or a snowmobile one or anything that you can jump on and cruise around?
I don't have anything. tough. Tough. They didn't give me that yet. I might have to ask for that.
Very
I'll have to
good.
work on that, though. Maybe they can get me something.
Sounds good. Mike Solimano, President, General Manager of Killington Resort. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks.
It's a pleasure to
I appreciate
meet
it.
you.
It's great.
All right. Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be back. Hey Sarah, it is time to wrap it up here from the Umbrella Bar. We're right here at the base of Superstar, but I look forward to the days to come when you and I are camped out here. The umbrella is folded up and we're just digging a scene right up there on Superstar Trail.
I'm with you on that one, soaking up the rays. Well, let's head on down to the lookout and see what they have to offer down there.
I'm ready to go. Why don't you
All
join us?